I'm Marin, and this is Post-its and Pens. Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin, and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. Today's video is going to be my July empties. So let's talk some trash, shall we? So I did go through a pretty decent number of items this past month. I'm going to go ahead and group them into categories. So we're going to start with body care because that's kind of what's right on the top. So the first item that I have is this Up and Up baby powder. It's aloe plus vitamin E. It just looks like this. This bottle lasts for like a super long time, so I've repurchased this multiple times. Up and Up is the Target brand. I just kind of grab whatever's on the shelf, but I have already purchased another one and will continue to do so. Next up, I have a hand wash. This is the Raw Sugar Moisture Loving Hand Wash in the Watermelon and Fresh Mint scent. It comes in a pump bottle like this. I get this from Target. They've got a couple of other scents. I have a different one in my bathroom right now. I can't remember what the scent is. I do really like this watermelon scent. It's very fresh, so this is kind of my preferred one, but I did pick up a different one this last time because they did not have this one in stock. But this is my go-to hand wash for the bathroom, and I have repurchased a ton of these and will continue to do so. The next item is a travel-sized item. This is the Olay B3 plus hyaluronic acid body wash. It looks like this. I got this for my trip to Mexico. This lasted through that whole trip. I was there for about a week, and then about a week longer. So about 2 weeks worth from this little bottle. I think it was like $1 at Target. So, you know, totally worth the money. And I did like that it was small enough to fit into my toiletry bag. If you're curious about what I packed when I went to Mexico, I did a whole video on that. I'll link it up above in the cards. But yeah, this was fine. I could see myself potentially purchasing like a full size of this, but it would depend on the price. The next item is also a travel size. It is this Colgate Optic White toothpaste. It just looks like this. Again, I purchased this when I went to Mexico. This lasted about a month. So you definitely got a good amount of use out of this. Again, this was not terribly expensive because it is like a travel size. So completely serviceable. I was happy with the amount of use I got out of it. The next item that I have is this little Tinkle facial razor. They come in like a 3-pack. This one was just the one that I was using this past month. I use this to help with like peach fuzz on my face, and it works pretty well. You can get a handful of uses out of this, so you don't have to, it's not like a one and done. You can reuse it. So yeah, they're fine. I got it off Amazon. It's linked down below, just like I always link everything else in these empty videos. But yeah, can't really say much about this, to be honest. There's not a whole lot to say. The next item that I have is a shaving cream. Again, a travel-sized one. This is the Skintimate Raspberry Rain. I do not usually go with a foaming shaving gel like this, but this is what they had in the travel section, and I needed something that was small enough to fit in my bag. So this is what I went with. It was fine. I would not repurchase a full size of this just because I don't feel like the foaming is any better than anything else I've tried. I also kind of don't really love like the metal packaging because it can get rusty on the bottom when you leave it in your shower, but for traveling, it was perfectly fine. Okay, the last body care item that I have is a razor refill. These are from Flamingo. You can get them at Target or you can order them on their site. Yeah, I mean, it's a razor refill, y'all. There isn't much to say. The next item is my usual allergy meds. This is the Up and Up Allergy Relief. This is the off-brand of Zyrtec, which is what I use. This is the liquid-filled capsules. It's a very big mouthful, but this has been my go-to allergy medicine for years, and I will continue to repurchase. Switching gears now to skincare, I did use up this bottle of CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser. This has been my go-to morning cleanser for several years at this point. I really like this. I am going to use up one that I picked up from First Aid Beauty though before I repurchase this, but this is my favorite morning cleanser. It's gentle, it doesn't strip your skin, doesn't dry my skin out, leaves me feeling clean in the morning, and I'm a big fan. This is one of my all-time favorite beauty products. Then I have another travel-sized item. This is the First Aid Beauty Pure Skin Face Cleanser. This came in a kit that I picked up probably a year and a half ago or so that I'd never used, and when I was packing for my trip, I rediscovered it and realized it would be perfect for traveling. This is another one that lasted about a month. On my trip, I was using it morning and night. Usually I only use a foaming cleanser at night, so once I was home from my trip, that's what I used it for, but it did last about a month, so pretty good usage. I could have cut it open. There probably is the tiniest bit left in it, but I didn't really feel like that was necessary with this. It's not a favorite, and I was happy with the amount of use I got out of it without cutting it open. The next item is this e.l.f. Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. It looks like this. This is another item that I picked up solely for travel because it was smaller. Now, I will say this was fine, except it's fragranced, which I didn't love. I prefer like a non-scented cleansing balm. Pharmacy has a unscented one. Clinique's is unscented, so the scent was not my favorite. I also felt like this turned into more of an oil than I am used to with a cleansing balm, and usually it sits in as a solid in your hand. This one would start melting into an oil before you even like rubbed your hands together, so it was a little bit strange with the texture, but it was fine. It worked. I won't repurchase because of the scent, but you know, it's there. It's e.l.f., so it's not super expensive, but I will say you get much better value in terms of the length of time you can use the product. If you go obviously with something that's a bigger container, it probably works out to the same amount of money, but you know, there you go. Okay, the next skincare item is a sunscreen. It is the Supergoop Mineral Matte Screen Sunscreen. It looks like this. I did cut it open. I'm not going to pull it open. This is a moussey texture, which I love. I can use this as like a first layer on my base products and then just kind of spot conceal or use like some green color corrector if I have a little bit of extra redness. So I really love this. I have used this sunscreen for several years at this point. The only complaint I have is the price. It is expensive for the amount of product that you get, but it's the only thing that I've really found that I truly love, and that's why I'm continuing to repurchase it. I have one in my cabinet right now that I'm using up. This lasts probably about 2 months, so not great, but again, I've not found anything I like nearly as well, so I'm going to continue to pay the price for it. The last skincare item that I have is this Hero Mighty Patch Duo. It looks like this. This was in Target's little like travel section again. This came with 2 different types of patches. One is the original, which they say is for night use, and one is the Invisible Plus, which they say you can use during the day. I only use them at night. These stayed on my skin decently well. As you know, if you've watched my empties for a while, I prefer the patches from CosRx, but these were perfectly fine. I liked the little container that it came with. It flipped open, it had the 2 pouches in here, and you got 6 of each, so pretty good. Obviously, I didn't use the whole thing on my trip. I used it well afterwards as well, but yeah, if you're looking for something to travel with, this is available, and it was in like the little carousel thing that my Target has with a bunch of travel stuff right in their makeup section. So check it out. The last kind of beauty slash, I don't really know what you would call this, but it's a brow serum. It's the GrandeBrow Brow Enhancing Serum. It looks like this. It's a little brush that you brush on your brows to help with like regrowing sparse spots, and on my right brow in particular, it's pretty sparse, like in the arch. So I've been using this to see if we can't get a little bit more growth. And I do really think that this helps. This is super expensive, but it's working for me. So I'm willing to continue to pay the price to see what we can do with continued use. This lasts about 3 months, so you get a pretty good amount of use out of it, but it is expensive. So I don't want to pretend that it's not. I did repurchase this. It's in my bathroom right now, but I really liked this and will continue to buy it as long as I'm seeing results. Now we're gonna move on into makeup. The first one that I have is this Urban Decay All Nighter Translucent Setting Powder. It looks like this. The one thing I didn't like about this is it had this like mesh thing that you were supposed to like press your sponge or whatever into, and when it got empty or when it got down to like hardly any product left, I did have to cut that open, and then I was like trying to dump the product out, and there is the tiniest bit left in here that I cannot get out of here, y'all. Like, it just will not come out. So we're calling it done. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I have been looking for something that is comparable to the Too Faced Peach Perfect setting powder. This is not. This does not work nearly as well as that powder did, and I don't think that I would repurchase this. This was pretty basic, run-of-the-mill setting powder in my opinion, especially for my oily T-zone. It just didn't really do much of anything. I know there are people that love the all-nighter line. I am not one of them. So this was kind of a bummer, but at least I tried it out, and I know for sure that it does not do what I need it to do. Speaking of foundation, powder, base products, whatever, I did finally finish this Too Faced Born This Way multi-use complexion powder. So this is a kind of powder foundation. As you can see, I did use it all the way up. I'd repressed this a handful of times and it lasted for a pretty long time. The thing is, this also does not have much staying power, for me personally. My oily skin just kind of eats this up, if you will. So neither one of these were particularly great in my opinion if you have oily skin. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, because I do know a lot of people really like the all-nighter and people like the Born This Way powder. They just don't work for me. Okay, my last makeup empty is one that I actually just finished today on the last day of July, and it is this Urban Decay 24/7 lip liner in the shade Interrogate. This is an item in my project pan, so it looks like I should be able to like get more out of it, but this does not sharpen anymore. Like, it won't turn or sharpen, so we're calling it done. So I will have a full update on this one in my next quarterly project pan update to let you know like how many times I used it in total, etc., etc. I will show you like progress pictures, but this one is done, and I'm very excited because I don't really love this color. I'm wearing it today, but you know, we're finished with it, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. All right, y'all, that is the end of my empties for the month of July. As usual, I will have all of these items, if I can find them, linked down below so you can check them out. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you. So I hope you enjoyed this empties video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.